As outrage grows over an attack on church worshippers in Ondo State, former Director of Directorate State Services, Mike Ejiofor, and the Chief Medical Director of Federal Medical Center, Owo, Dr. Ahmed Lisau, joins us now to speak more on this incident. I want to say thank you very much. Welcome to Newsday today. And let's start with you, Mike Ejiofor. Where do we even start with this incident? Because is there any way we would have probably gotten enough information, intel, to prevent this dastardly act from action?
Well, first of all, I must condole with government and people of Ondo State, whether it could have been avoided or whether there was available intelligence. Yes, the intelligence was available. I'll give you two instances. The former Deputy Director of the State Security Service, who incidentally is the chairman of Amotekun in Oyo State, in one of his lectures on the 2nd of this month, highlighted that these foreign Fulanis have invaded and occupied the whole of the southwest forest, and they are to start attacks any moment from now. It's less than a week that he said it. And the intelligence is available to all these people. But the problem is, the question is, why was action not taken to prevent it from happening? And where it happened, why did it happen? Ondo, for instance, has been one of the most peaceful states in the southwest because of the action taken by the governor. You recall that he has been at the forefront of this Amotekun operation, the regional security outfit, and that he was one of the first governors that said all the bandits and the herdsmen should be flushed out of the forest. So he likely now became a target of these enemies of the state. And they carried the war to his home state, and not only his own state, his hometown. So I think these people are out to destabilize the country and destabilize Nigeria, attacking churches, killing innocent worshippers. On a Sunday morning that people went to worship, Nigerians, the way they worship God, they are very, very ardent Christians. So it's quite unfortunate. Like you asked, it would have been avoided, but as we go along, we can look at what must have happened and what transpired in the course of this tragic incident.
Now, beyond the outrage, the condemnation, and the sadness that have been expressed over this horrible tragedy, how exactly should government at all levels, and even the security forces, how should they respond or react to what has happened so that we can prevent another one from happening?
Yeah, well, it's not our prayer that this thing repeats itself. You see, like the intelligence made available says that these people are out there. So I expect the security agencies, the police, the local vigilante, the Amotekun, to go into the forest to fish out these people. This is becoming one too many. When we say investigation will be conducted, no arrests are made. But this particular one, I believe that the government and the security agencies must go all out to ensure that these people are fished out. Just like the governor of Ondo State said, they must be fished out, and when arrests are made, it will serve as a lead to other investigations. Because if you allow this to continue, I'm afraid they will overrun the whole of the southwest, not only the southwest. If you look at it, the southeast is not at peace, the southwest is not there. The only region you can say is relatively peaceful in the whole of the country now is the south-south. So we should just do everything possible to ensure that these hoodlums do not hijack. Their purpose, of course, no one knows. It baffles me how you can go and start killing innocent citizens. It's shocking and it's demoralizing to every well-meaning Nigeria. And you can see the outrage of the pouring of sentiments and emotions from members of the public.
Mr. Mike, it seems like the killers are definitely more emboldened in the last couple of weeks. Should we be making distinctions between the Abuja-Kaduna kidnapping and train explosion versus what happened in Owo and the church? Are these different cells, Or do you think that it's different, or it's the same network of bandits, kidnappers? I don't even know what word to describe these killers anymore. Do you think they're all colluding with each other? Or do you think it's separate groups that are attacking separate parts of the country?
Well, for me, for now, and as intelligence has proven too, there seem to be handshake between these foreign elements and the local elements. The ISIS, for instance, there seem to be a kind of embrace that they are now attacking virtually all parts of the country. And that chain must be broken. Because if you see, the attacks are becoming one too many. We are yet to recover from the issue of the kidnap in the train incident. Then this one happens. Who knows when and when next all these things will happen. So, like you rightly said, there seems to be a coordinated effort between these various groups, the bandits, the Boko Haram, the ISIS. There seems to be established link, and that link must be broken.
All right, speaking about links being broken, talk to us about this. Some security analysts will always say that when election cycles are coming around, we begin to see an uptick in insecurity in Nigeria. You begin to see dastardly acts like this being perpetrated time and time again. Is this the case, or do we isolate this particular incident?
I think this one should be isolated because if you look at it critically, yes, there's bound to be upsurge in violence when the elections are approaching, but that will be between politicians and their interests. But what these people have been operating in this country for some time, for a long time, and they're intensifying the act. So I don't think I'll link it up with the issue of forthcoming elections. But again, our politicians too should be wary of their conduct, because you see, like people who have been talking about dollarization of the process, that seems to state that there is so much money in the hands of politicians, and these people also want to get their own share. So there's a link somehow, but I don't think it has to do with the election, that violence that we have been witnessing in previous elections.
Now, some analysts are suggesting that what happened in Owo could be a reaction to the ban on Okada in Lagos State. Do you share this view, and is Lagos also vulnerable at the moment to such attacks?
Well, I don't think so. Like I said, you see, the governor of Ondo State, because of the drastic actions, the political will he has been exhibiting in checking the insecurity in the state, he has become a target. I don't think it has to do with the ban of motorcycles in Lagos. But we should not be also unmindful of the effect of such a decision, but they are likely to come to it. Like I said, the former Deputy Director General of the State Security Service did highlight that these foreign elements, he emphasized the foreign elements have occupied the whole of the Southwest Forest, and they are to start attacks. So this attack might not be the last, but our security agencies too must be up in their game to ensure that this thing does not happen.
For the sake of comparison, allow me to remind Nigerians of the time when bank accounts for Nigerian citizens were frozen when they were deemed as threats for protesting at a certain toll gate last year. Bank accounts were frozen, people were allegedly fired at. There was all sorts of intelligence that we were privy to that the government was racking up in order to curtail the criminal elements that would have been trying to overtake the Lekki toll gate and cause issues. In this particular instance, we see that there are criminal elements all over the country. We know they use cell phones. We know they have bank accounts. We actually even know where they are. They're in the forests. What is the disconnect between the government not being able to arm those who are employed to give us security and safety? Because it is being said that in Owo, there was no police car to shuttle security operatives to the actual place of the massacre, which definitely was led to the loss of many lives. I'm just wondering what the disconnect is. Is it because it's scary to go up against people with firearms and our military just lacks the will, or the police force lacks the will? Or is it that they don't have what they need and therefore they lack the will? What is going on?
Well, it's a combination of all that you have listed. I'll give you an example. The police is ill-equipped and underfunded to tackle these menace of constant kidnapping and bombings. And I think at this time, it's important too for me to advise the Inspector General of Police. They're understaffed. You recall that there was a time the former chairman of the Police Service Commission said that the strength of the police is less than 400,000, and over 150,000 are deployed for VIP protection. So where do you get the men? You go to some divisions, you see only 2-3 people. There are no patrol vehicles. How do you expect the policemen to react under that sun? Even where you have patrol vehicles, there's no petrol, there's no fuel for the vehicles. So this is a combination of all the problems, and that is why I'm advising that since these security challenges are local, they have to be solved locally with collaboration with these local vigilantes, the security outfit, the synergy between all the security agencies. It's not enough for you to continue to call for synergy between the security agencies when they are underfunded and ill-equipped. People, in fact, it's not only in security subsector. The fact remains that every aspect of our political, social, and economic life is under threat. But the problem we are having is that without security, you cannot go anywhere. So the security becomes very prominent, and it has to be tackled before we have any meaningful development. So it's not, I don't lay the blame completely on the security forces. Secondly, we need civic education. People need to be aware of the environment. You remember that when this issue of bombing, suicide bombing and all this things started, we placed in measures, churches, schools, hotels, and placed measures to ensure that people are screened. But when this thing went down, we dropped our guards. And these people are also studying the trend to know that we have dropped our guards. So I call on the citizens to be involved by placing security and being security aware of their environment. It's very important.
It's unfortunate we've run out of time, but I want to say thank you very much for taking our time to probably try to make sense of all that has happened in the last 24 hours. Mike Ejiofor, former Director of the State Department Services.